You're not stuck, you're just repeatedly choosing the easier version of the moment and calling it confusion. You sit down to work, open what matters, and within minutes you shift, check something small, adjust something irrelevant, tell yourself you'll start properly in a bit. Hours pass, and by the end of the day, you don't feel lazy, you feel unclear. Like something is blocking you. Like you're missing direction. But you're not missing direction. You're avoiding friction. The hard part is already visible to you. It's the uncomfortable call. The task you can't do perfectly. The decision that forces commitment. The workout where you can't hide behind effort and have to face your actual capacity. That's the part you keep stepping around, not because you don't know what to do, but because doing it removes your excuses. So instead, you stay busy. You organize. You plan. You prepare. You think. And that creates the illusion of movement while protecting you from exposure. This is where most people mislabel their problem. They say they're stuck, when in reality, they're negotiating with discomfort every single day, and losing. Because calling it stuck feels temporary. It gives you time. It suggests that clarity will arrive. But calling it avoidance removes that comfort. It forces a different question. Why are you choosing relief over progress, even when you know the cost? In this video, you're going to see exactly what's happening beneath that pattern. Not motivation. Not encouragement. Just a clear breakdown of the mechanisms that keep you circling the easy path, and what shifts when you stop pretending the hard part isn't the real work. Because the moment you stop avoiding it, everything you call stuck disappears. What feels like being stuck is usually a predictable loop made of a few internal patterns working together. Once you see them clearly, the situation stops feeling random and starts looking like a system you've been reinforcing. The first pattern is discomfort avoidance disguised as preparation. You tell yourself you're getting ready, researching more, organizing better, waiting for the right time. But in reality, you're delaying the moment where performance is required. Preparation feels productive, but it keeps you in control. Execution doesn't. The second is the self-licensing bias. You do something small, respond to emails, clean your workspace, handle minor tasks, and then subconsciously feel like you've earned a break or a delay. You worked, so avoiding the real task feels justified. But those smaller actions weren't neutral, they replaced the thing that actually mattered. Third is the emotional negotiation loop. Instead of acting based on decision, you keep checking how you feel. I don't feel ready. I'm not in the right mindset. So you wait. But the feeling never arrives, because the action itself is what would have created it. You're expecting momentum before movement. And finally, there's ego protection through delay. As long as you don't fully engage with the hard part, your potential stays intact. You can always say, I could have done better if I really tried. Avoidance protects your self-image at the cost of your actual results. Take a simple example. Someone wants to improve their finances. They watch videos, read about investing, track small expenses. It feels like progress. But they avoid the hard part, making a strict budget, cutting unnecessary spending, facing the reality of their habits. So nothing changes. These patterns aren't random. They're consistent, repeatable, and, if left unchecked, permanent. And once you recognize them, the situation becomes uncomfortable in a different way. You can no longer pretend you don't know what you're doing. The first shift is understanding that avoidance doesn't feel like avoidance while it's happening. It feels reasonable. You don't wake up and decide to delay your progress. You make small, justified decisions that move you slightly away from discomfort. And each one, on its own, seems harmless. You choose to warm up instead of starting. You decide to handle something quick first. You tell yourself you'll do the hard part when you have more time, more energy, more clarity. But those decisions aren't neutral. They're directional. Consider a workplace scenario. You have a report due, something that requires focused thinking, not just effort. Instead of starting it directly, you open your inbox. There are messages to respond to, small tasks to clear. It feels responsible to handle them first. 2 hours later, you've been active, but not effective. The report is still untouched. The mechanism here is subtle. You're not avoiding work, you're avoiding exposure. Because the moment you start that report, you face your actual level. Your thinking, your clarity, your limits. And that creates pressure. Avoidance removes that pressure temporarily, but it compounds it later. This is where the identity implication becomes unavoidable. You're not someone who lacks time, you're someone who redirects effort away from what reveals you. And that pattern doesn't stay in one area. It spreads. The second shift is recognizing how you've been trained to trust feelings over decisions. You say you'll act when you feel ready. But readiness is not a condition, it's a consequence. Look at physical health. You plan to work out. The time comes, and you hesitate. You feel tired, distracted, slightly resistant. So you delay. You tell yourself you'll go later. Later comes with the same resistance. The mistake here is assuming the feeling is a signal. It's not. It's a default response to effort. Your system is designed to conserve energy, not push into discomfort. So when you wait for the feeling to change before acting, you're waiting for a system to contradict its own design. That's why the loop continues. There's a line often attributed to Rohn: we must all suffer one of two things, the pain of discipline or regret. The point isn't motivation. It's recognition. You're already experiencing discomfort. The question is whether it's happening up front, through action, or later, through consequence. One of them builds something. The other just reminds you what you avoided. The third shift is understanding how avoidance protects your identity while quietly weakening it. As long as you don't fully commit, you can preserve the idea that you're capable. You haven't failed, you just haven't really tried yet. That story feels safe. But it comes at a cost. Take someone managing money. They know they overspend. They see it clearly. But instead of setting strict limits, they keep things flexible. They track, they observe, they become aware. But they don't enforce. Why? Because enforcement removes ambiguity. It forces a standard. And once that standard exists, breaking it becomes visible. Avoidance keeps things undefined. And undefined standards can't be failed. There was a situation where someone had a stable income but no savings. Not because they didn't earn enough, but because they never committed to a non-negotiable structure. Every month, they adjusted, justified, adapted. It wasn't a knowledge problem. It was a refusal to face constraint. And that's the pattern. Avoidance doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing everything except the one thing that would force clarity. That's why it's dangerous. It hides inside effort. The fourth shift is accepting that the hard part doesn't go away, it compounds. Every time you delay it, it becomes heavier. Not just in workload, but in perception. What could have been a simple action becomes something you overthink. You build it up. You imagine outcomes. You create pressure around it. Now it feels bigger than it actually is. And that increased weight makes avoidance more likely next time. This is how small resistance turns into long-term stagnation. Think about social boundaries. There's a conversation you need to have, something direct, something slightly uncomfortable. You delay it. You wait for the right moment. Meanwhile, the situation grows. Frustration builds. Your tone changes. The eventual conversation becomes more tense than it needed to be. The original hard part was simple, but avoidance turned it into something heavier. That's the compounding effect most people ignore. Avoidance doesn't freeze problems. It distorts them. Across all these areas, work, health, money, relationships, the pattern is consistent. You're not blocked. You're circling. You're engaging in everything around the hard part because stepping into it removes your ability to negotiate with yourself. And that's where the real shift happens. Not when you feel different. Not when you're more motivated. But when you stop treating discomfort as a signal to step back and start seeing it as confirmation that you're finally at the right place. Because the hard part isn't a barrier. It's the entry point. What you've been calling effort is often just controlled movement inside your comfort zone. Real discipline doesn't feel like constant action. It feels like direct action, specifically toward the thing you've been avoiding. And that distinction matters, because identity is not built on how much you do, but on what you consistently choose when discomfort appears. Right now, your pattern is simple. When the moment gets slightly uncomfortable, you redirect. You adjust. You delay. Not in a dramatic way, but in small, repeatable ways that protect how you feel in the short term. That's not a motivation issue. That's a standard. And standards don't announce themselves, they show up in decisions. If your standard is comfort, you'll always find a reason to step away from the hard part. If your standard is clarity, you'll move toward it, even when it exposes you. This is where compounding becomes real. Not in outcomes, but in identity. Every time you face the hard part directly, you reinforce a version of yourself that doesn't negotiate with discomfort. Not because it's easy, but because it's expected. And that expectation starts to remove the internal debate. Over time, that changes how you experience work itself. Tasks don't feel lighter, but resistance feels less relevant. On the other side, avoidance compounds too. Every delay strengthens the habit of stepping back. It makes hesitation more automatic. It lowers your threshold for discomfort. So the gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't just about results, it's about accumulated decisions. Quiet ones. Repeated ones. Unnoticed ones. This is why responsibility matters here, but not in the way it's usually framed. It's not about pressure. It's about ownership of pattern. Because once you see that you're not stuck, that you've been choosing around the hard part, you lose the ability to blame confusion, timing, or circumstance. And that's uncomfortable. But it's also precise. Because now the solution is no longer abstract. It's not about changing your life. It's about changing your response to a specific moment that keeps repeating. The moment where you either step forward into discomfort or step sideways into delay. And whichever direction you choose, repeatedly, becomes who you are. At some point, you have to stop interpreting your behavior and start accepting it. Not as a flaw. Not as something temporary. But as a pattern you've been reinforcing with precision. You don't drift into avoidance. You practice it. Every delay, every adjustment, every time you step around the hard part, you're not just losing progress. You're building a version of yourself that expects escape. And expectations become automatic. That's why this doesn't fix itself with time. Time only strengthens whatever you repeat inside it. So the shift is not dramatic. It doesn't require a new system, a new plan, or a new version of you. It requires one clean decision, made at the exact point where you usually hesitate. No negotiation. No preparation. No delay. Just direct movement into the thing you've been avoiding. Not because it guarantees success, but because it removes the one habit that guarantees stagnation. And once that habit is gone, what's left isn't confusion. It's work. And work, when faced directly, has a way of resolving itself.